Alright, what's up guys? My name is Wombat, and today we're going to be doing another another live stream thing. Let me take a second to talk about God chips. God chips are these things. They're the little, I guess, Facebook bit chip looking things in the center of God base. And for a while now, there's been a rumor going around that the God chips that have the letter A on the bottom of them have a tighter fit and make Beyblades harder to burst. And that's never been the case in the past, where like the product number, like all Beyblades have some kind of product number on them, just like A or a letter or some other kind of number, just I guess embossed on them somewhere. And that's never been the cause for a mold difference in the past. There's been quite a few occasions where people have thought it was, but it's always been debunked. And I'm pretty sure that's not the case this time. There's some people that think it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to test some of these God chips today. I'm going to be using this combo, Guardian Kirby's Knuckle Yielding, as the control combo with the different God chips. And then Victory Valkyrie Heavy Flugel, kind of a melancholy burst attacker, but it'll be enough to test whether to see if the God chips have any effect. It's not too great, but it should be able to burst Guardian Kirby's more consistently if it has a worse God chip in it. So, I've gone through and actually like measured the dimensions of all my God chips, like every single one I have. And I can be posting the dimensions of that picture right now. So as you can see, like, they kind of vary. They're all kind of in the same dimensions, height, weight, width-wise. There doesn't seem to be any correlation between the physical size of the God chip and the production code underneath. Because apparently what causes the A mold chips to be tighter is that they're taller and they cause more friction with the driver, making it harder to burst. But as you can see, I know like my Blaze Ragnarok chip, which is the A mold one I'll be testing with, because it's pretty much like one of my tightest God chips out there. It's, as you can see in the chart, it's a little shorter than all the other ones. It's like, I think it's 0.55, going off memory here, and like most of them are 0.56 or 0.57. And my Alter Chronos one, which is also a production, is probably like my smallest and lightest God chip out there. And it doesn't feel particularly tight on anything. So up first, we're just going to use the Guardian Kirby's God chip stock. I believe it's a... I can actually look on the bottom. Yeah, B5. So it's not very tight on anything. It's probably like one of my worst God chips. So I should expect this one to burst a lot. And I'm going to be recording down how much teeth is skipped, or if the whole thing bursts. And then I'm going to be taking the average of all of that teeth skipped over 10 or 20 rounds, probably just 10 for this video, but just so it doesn't waste a ton of time. But I'll do 20 for the actual test, and then I'll actually post the results of this test on the WBO. So I'm going to be using the Burst Standard Stadium, obviously, you can see it right here, and the Hasbro Dual Threat Launcher. So, I guess round one. Two teeth on GK, loosen on A, 2. also 2. That's going to be 4 because it needs to click 4 times to burst. Let me just reassemble this. 2, 2, 4. Two. Not sure. Yeah, that was 2, not 3. Two again. One. Four. Tie, it's not going to count. I guess ties and ones where the attacker's self-bursts are not going to be counted. Just to standardize this from now on. Two. It's a double burst. Two. Alright. So that's 10 rounds for the loose non-A chip. Let's try it with... Now let's try Guardian Kirbyus with a tight non-A chip. This is the Deep Chaos one. It is a... I can't read this. B7. And I've actually found it to fit kind of tight on Guardian Kirbyus. So we'll see how this one does. Two. It's going to be redone. The attacker self-bursted. This combo was like balanced fine when I tried it. I don't know what happened. Sometimes they'll just randomly do that, go off balance. Ooh, that's 4. Zero. That's not going to count either. How did that even happen? It like KO'd itself after V2 bursted. Maybe snipe that one a little. We'll see what happens. Because that's something that could happen in a real battle. Two. Yeah, the balance of both of these is not stellar, but my like Guardian Kirbyus kind of has bad balance with everything. I think I tried like all my heavy revolves, all my knuckle revolves, and this like knuckle yielding was the best thing I had. One. And I didn't want to use like orbit or weight. I didn't want to use orbit or weight because like the movement patterns of those can change depending on like how you launch them, how hard you launch them. With like the cone-shaped drivers like yielding and flugel, they just kind of keep the same movement pattern no matter how you launch them. So that way it would like remove any differences in that also. They all just kind of stay in the center. Four. Maybe I just didn't balance tune my god chips right. What if that was a thing? I bet it is. but I'm pretty sure like the tightness of the god chip would outweigh any like potential stamina boost from being like a good balanced god chip. I don't even know if that's even a thing. Zero. Four. This is so weird. It has like 0, but it also has 4. I think it already stopped spinning beforehand, so that's 1. Alright, now let's try it with a loose gold chip. That came out weird, gold chip. So C Excalibur, this one is an A8. And this one is like also probably one of my tightest one, or one of my loosest ones. So we'll see how, or it feels loose on a bunch of different combos. Like, I think it doesn't even, it won't even stay in my Galaxy Zeus, it falls out on its own. So, we'll try this one. Yeah, I think the God Chip balance might actually be a thing, because this is like less aggressive than the V Chaos one was. I'm launching these at like around the same strength each time. Two. Double burst. Two. 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 What if this gets like all 2s for all 10 of its tests? One. 1. Four. Alright, so now let's try it with the Blaze Ragnarok chip, which I already said was, I think, the tightest chip in a lot of my layers. I know my Drain Fafnir chip's also pretty tight in some layers. Beat Kukulkan's also a good one. My Killer Death Scyther one is okay. Yeah, I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head. But here's... one. That was bad. Two. Three. Doesn't count. One. 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 Doesn't count. One. Two. 2. Two again. Alright, so after some quick maths, looks like these are the splits so far after 10 rounds. I don't know if you can read them with this camera, but after 10 rounds, the tight A God chip lost 1.6 teeth on average. The loose one was 2.6 on average. The tight non-A one, I think is B7, is 2.2 on average, and then the loose non-B one is 2.5 on average. And I will not film the second 10 rounds of this just because I don't want to bore you with me spinning tops for another half an hour, but I will get back to you with the full results of this. Alright, so I did those 40 more rounds of testing, and the results are right here in this book for the second half. Looks like the Blaze Ragnarok chip got 1.9 average, the Sea Excalibur one got 2.7, the Deep Chaos got 2.0, and the Guardian Kirbyist got 2.3. And just so you remember, Blaze Ragnarok is the A chip that fits tightly, Sea Excalibur is the A chip that fits loosely, Deep Chaos is the B chip that fits tightly, and Guardian Kirbyist is the B chip that fits loosely. And so after that, I just took all of those, averaged them together. It looks like Blaze Ragnarok is the tightest, followed by Deep Chaos. And then Guardian Kirbyist and Sea Excalibur are the two lowest ones. So it looks like that, just based on this, that having a tight God chip does help, obviously, but just having it be an A mold doesn't necessarily mean it'll be tighter. Just because, Sea Excalibur had 2.65 clicks on average, and then Blaze Ragnarok had 1.75. But they're both A. And, I don't know, the one that did win was both tight and an A production code, so it might be that if it's both, then it'll work super well. But if it's not both, then it'll just be average. I guess the most fair way to put this is that having a God chip that fits tightly in your layer, which is something you'll need to experiment with on all of your different God chips and all of your God layers, with different drivers as well. Having a God chip that fits tightly on your layer is going to be more important than having an A1 specifically. But if you have one that is A number and also tight, then it will be better. It will be the best chip. I think that's the fairest conclusion to make based on these results. I don't know, I would need to test this on, I guess, other layers, have the attacker have a different God chip to see how often it bursts the opponent or how often it self-bursts. I'd have to try a bunch of different setups, because this is only just 4 different God chips in one layer on one combo. I don't know if this would be applicable to all other situations, but it's not, I don't know, it's not exactly a rumor, but it's not exactly 100% absolutely true either. So yeah, just I don't know, try this out with all of your different god chips. You can kind of tell by like how tight the combo feels when you assemble it and how tight the god chip is when you screw it into the layer. But I guess the best way to actually test that is like what I just did, just test it, even though it'll take a while if you have a bunch of god chips like I do. So just because how tight it is when you assemble it isn't as easy to like numerically measure. Trying to think of a good way to wrap this up, but I can't.